My father. In love with my mother. I'm proud to be a father. Put in a good day's work, didn't work too hard, didn't take anything too seriously. Sung in the car, sung in the shower. When I was 9 years old, one morning in February, I woke up to the sound of my mother and my sister screaming in terror. Apparently my dad passed in his sleep. He didn't wake up. There really wasn't anything else going on in my life at that point, that was of importance. Just school, baseball, scouts, and all of a sudden now the guy that took me to scouts and played catch with, was gone.
My son is still a musician, and his dad was, his biggest fan. Every time my son would, write a song, they would go drive around in the car and listen to it. When my husband died, that person has never been replaced in his life.
Yes, I miss you every time.
My experience with grief, it happened after I lost my aunt very unexpectedly to a heart attack. She was very close to me, very close to my son, just like a mother figure. He started having problems with his blinking, and we couldn't explain it. He said that he couldn't stop doing it. We took him to his pediatrician, we took him to the eye doctor, and no one could explain the blink. We started the groups, and within a few weeks, we didn't even realize it, and his tic was completely gone. He was grieving in his own way, but he was trying to be a big boy for me because he knew that I was really sad, and so he was trying to keep it together for me, and little did I know he needed the support group just as much as I did.
After all the sitcoms and the news, there was a 2020. We'd always watch together, and usually pretty interesting factual stuff, and an excuse to stay up another hour after bedtime. The first night that watched it again, it was a program about the Dougy Center in Oregon, a children's grief center where kids can go and talk about their loss with other kids that have experienced similar or maybe even the same things. That's when I asked Mom if there was anything like that in Oklahoma City, and found out that there wasn't, and ran into some folks that were willing to give it a shot.
When children have grief or trauma or loss in their lives and they don't process it, like talk through it or journal about it or get some support in dealing with it, they lose the ability to connect properly to others forever.
Unresolved stress, unresolved traumatic events in their lives can cause learning delays, unable to cope with life events, and able to move on in their lives and be able to lead successful, healthy lives without depression or anger issues. And Calm Waters helps to do that. And it's vital to the community to be able to speak with children, speak with families, and get that connection, work through the issues that they could be having that prevents them from being able to move forward healthy in a happy way.
Before my father passed away, one of the family activities we did a lot was sailing on Lake Hefner. The name Calm Waters came from the horrific winds we have here in Oklahoma would sometimes stir up, and he'd always find a cove to kind of wait him out in. So Calm Waters is kind of something that we came up with to name the organization.
When I went to Calm Waters, it was mainly about divorce and death. And when I was there, I made a lot of friends that helped me and support me through everything, and I really liked it. I just told how I was sad, and I would just cry sometimes whenever I would think about my parents and my aunt that died.
So it gives them hope and just a greater sense of peace with where they're at, and that maybe I'm going through a really hard phase right now, but things can get better.
Calm Waters is here in the community to give children and families the tools to deal with loss.
It gives a safe place for you to be able to talk about whatever you need to talk about and not have to be judged for what you are feeling and what you are saying.
If we didn't have the program in our schools and here in the community, these kids might never get the support that they need.
We would be in class and they would call us down, and we would do that, and that would really help because, like, maybe I would be thinking about what happened, but then I could go to the Calm Waters and talk over it, and then I would just be okay for the rest of the day.
And I know that right now they are only able to offer a limited number of support groups, and those fill up quickly. And they could do so much more if they had additional funds to where they could provide more support groups on more nights, if they could expand and go to more schools. Although it's a very small agency, the impact to the community is huge.